Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode from being on the road for Cowabunga Ranger Talk. I'm Mascara, and with me, as always, is DTV83. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
Living the best life that I can live.
yeah, you and me both, brother. Ooh, buddy. Oh, buddy. So many things, so many things. But welcome everyone to the show. Uh, Distraction from problems, and we try to have fun on here. So let's try to do that. First thing, you got any pickups or anything you want to run over, or you're pretty good?
No, I had no pickups. I almost had a pickup, but then I decided against it because finances are really tight right now.
Yeah, what were you gonna get,
Yeah. So,
or what are
I
you
was gonna
thinking?
break down and get the Kevin. I was gonna break down and get the Kevin Eastman, Peter Lloyd, 35th or 40th anniversary Mecha Turtles.
The black and white ones with the comic thing.
Yeah, the
Those are.
one that one drawing was Kevin Eastman and one was the Peter Lloyd drawing.
Oh, okay.
And oh man, it was tempting today, but seeing my bank account, like we were just talking about, it was like I can't do it.
Yeah. Even with the finances from Cowabunga Ranger talking, the millions we
Yeah,
make, right?
right.
Oh man, you're telling me, brother. Ooh, man. So many other things, but you know. Anyways, so we'll start the show with what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be mostly news, with like two little reviews to kind of get us started. But before we do that, and I go on, I wanted to ask you. So, any update? This is from a previous episode we did. So, is there any updates or any news on the Switch 2? Because we were touching base a little bit about video games on another episode, and like anything from that price, or that's still kind of murky with the Switch 2.
Well, okay, so the price has stayed the same for the console itself and the games for now. There was actually a post that I saw today saying that Nintendo is thinking about lowering the price on the console itself. Now, it's kind of making people angry, and they're not sure this post is real or someone like is being a little underneath the table and reading it wrong because it was translated from Japanese to English. But yeah, people getting a little PO'd about it because people are spending $500 or 450 depending on the system they buy, and it might be lower down lower in the future.
Yeah,
And people didn't care the price of the console itself; they cared about the game prices, not the console prices. So it's kind of backwards. So I'm thinking maybe the translation was bad, and it was supposed to be the games were going to be lowered, but
yeah,
we'll see in the future.
yeah. Because the console, it's a one-time hit. The video games are a permanent hit because like you're constantly getting
Yeah.
another game, you're always buying another system.
I mean, I could see the console going down in price for like holidays. Oh, buy this, you'll get this and this with it. So it still equals out to the whatever the price it was, but you're getting stuff with it instead of being, just the console by itself. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
you make a good point there with the whole holidays thing because I was reading a couple of like news articles and not just YouTube but like just regular like business forums and stuff, and they're projecting that this year's going to be one of the worst for toy companies because everybody's going to get hit because we have the 140 something tax on the tariffs for plastic, so like that's
Yeah.
going to because bottom line, people make their quotas and they make their budgets and stuff towards the holiday seasons, towards Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the winter season. So it's gonna be
Oh,
bad.
definitely.
Getting a lot of like really negative projections for what's gonna happen there. Well, we can go
Yeah.
on and on about that, but it was just interesting that like now that the not just like like our circles, but actual like mainstream people are talking about the projections for this year is gonna be rough, rough, rough. But
Yeah, I could see that.
well, what's happening in like about a month and a half is, the next thing is San Diego. What's gonna happen over there? Because like you can't reveal a million toys if you can't get them here. That's gonna give a big hit there too.
Well, they can reveal and be like, to be announced, release date to be announced.
Okay. Well, yeah, that might put.
Just gives. Okay, I'm gonna say this as a joke, so don't take this personally, anybody. It just gives another reason why Super Seven can delay their products.
Well,
It's a joke. I'm just kidding. I'm
that's
just
in the
kidding.
news. So yeah, that's a, that's a truthful statement.
Well,
It's
it takes them a
funny, but
year
it's
anyways to get a
true.
product out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty true. Moving on from that, a quick little review here. So I have right here Batman '89. You remember the first Batman movie? This is
Oh
sort of a
yes.
continuation of it, and this happens. It's sort of in a weird timeline because it has like it's drawn in the style of like, okay, this was supposed to be Michael Keaton, Billy D. Williams, and the actors and so on. So so it is literally following with them, but it ages up Michael Keaton to the point that he's got like gray hair and everything, which is weird considering this is supposed to be between Batman and Batman Returns in continuity.
Yeah.
And this comic, I'm not gonna like spoil it for you, but like basically it revolves around. Well, this is a number one. This is Batman '89 number one. I don't know how far the run goes with it. I just thought it was like a cool novelty to like pick it up. Comics are comics, and it
Oh
follows
yeah.
Billy D.
Comics are
Williams'
comics. They're cool.
character. Yeah, it follows Billy D. Williams' character, and like he used to be poor, and he goes back to the inner city, and he's like saying to the new kids, "Hey, stick with it," basically. And it kind of teases that it's gonna eventually lead to Billy D becoming Two Face because he's playing Harvey Dent in that timeline, in the '89 timeline. Now I don't know if
Yeah.
that's basically where that comic ends. Like number one ends. I haven't read the entire like anthology of them, but if somebody actually read the whole timeline of it, please leave it in the comments. This is a show we like to read stuff like that, and it's always fun stuff like that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
have you ever tried to read any of these like continuation comics or anything like that, by the way? Or like
No, but I
following the
wanted to
movie
get my
type of
hands.
thing?
No, but I found out. What was it, a year ago, that the 2017 Power Ranger movie actually has one of those comic books,
Hmm.
and I did not know about it, and I can't find it anywhere, not even on eBay at the moment. And I kind of just
Yeah,
wanted to read it, so
yeah,
because actually, I really do enjoy that 2017 movie, and it's funny because back when it first came out, I hated it, but then it just kind of grew on me. So yeah,
it's an odd movie, and it's a standalone, but it's also kind of like traditional with Power Rangers, with as far as like cinema goes, because every movie is technically its own timeline. So you're looking at
yeah,
three different timelines. Because the original movie was, with Ivan Ooze, and it has nothing to do with like the Ninja Quest, which is Power Rangers One, and Power Rangers Two is directly connected to the TV show because it's Turbo. And Power Rangers technically Three is 2017, and that's a reboot of its own universe.
yes.
So that's interesting. Oh, and a little kind of like touchy base here. Speaking of like movies and continuations, I saw this on YouTube the other day, and it was off the official PlayStation account, and it was the trailer for The
Okay.
Last Ronin. Did you see it? Last
Oh.
Ronin's supposed to have like a video game, and I saw it
Oh,
here.
I know about the video game, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that was like a year ago, and there hasn't been anything, any
Mhm.
updates on it. And like, I don't know what happened with that game. If it's been canceled, they're moving the money to the movie, or what?
I have no idea.
Because I heard, you remember we talked about this? Like, one of the writers and one of the directors wanted to bring in Judith Hogue, and they were like, hey, maybe she could be part of it, and kind of keep the original 1990 timeline going, and more or less. It's
Yeah,
just very interesting. So it's just, I don't know. It's interesting, but it kind of like just stayed there. You know. On another little note here, watching your show right there.
King of Queens. Very cool.
This show's so stupid and funny. Oh man, are you there, buddy?
Oh, I'm here. My camera just
Oh,
flipped
okay.
around.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah. This was when the writing for the show was like top notch because the last like 2 seasons, like most TV shows, like they start really like treading water. Like, oh, we have to make it to syndication. All right, we'll make it 100 episodes. Yeah, let's go home already. And, but sometimes you know, oh, you bought a house, you got to do another season.
Right?
Or you got divorced. And she took the house, so you got to get a new house. So you got to do another season. And you got to sign on for
Yeah.
buy your kid a car or whatever it is. Because there's still human. We're all human beings. So that's that note.
Exactly.
You ready for some news, my man?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. So going off some notes here. So the Playmates, their Power Ranger line, it's starting to
Yes.
hit Australia. Australia. I don't know if you
Oh
saw
yeah.
some of the prices are like fluctuating. You got
Yeah, I
anything?
saw. Okay, so Angel Grove. That sounds so weird. Angel Grove store in Australia had listed everything besides what was it? That all the five main rangers they had Rita, Goldar, the Megazord, the Morpher, and the Blaster. So they're missing a few things from that list of what's supposed to be in the 2025 section.
Yeah.
No Green Ranger, but when you translated the prices, the conversion of the prices are actually matching up to what it's supposed to be in the US. And that's always a good thing. Um, they're selling the Megazord in a set instead of individuals. It's still individual boxes, but they're selling it all in one. You can't buy it
Oh,
individually
I didn't
off
see
that
that.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
so
Well,
you have to
that's
buy each
probably good. They're
Zord.
selling them.
To,
Yeah, I got
yeah, it's probably
you.
better that way, anyways, for an online store to do because as an online store, you know, for me personally, when you shop on Amazon, you buy one product, one product, one product. It's all being taxed, individually as well. So if you just set it up as a bundle, it's less taxes in the long run. So I think that's a smart move for online shopping. Unfortunately, we have not got our pre-orders yet anywhere online, and it kind of sucks because I was kind of hoping to have some kind of pre-orders ahead of time.
Yeah. I'm, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be coming in the next couple of weeks. Like, because I think like merchandise wise, that's already like here, right? Because I've seen like
Yeah.
one or two little reviews on it on YouTube. So you got to figure they're somewhere. They just haven't got into distribution. They're in a warehouse or something right now, probably.
Oh, of course. So is okay. So we're gonna go back to the gaming thing. Nintendo Switch 2 console's been over here for 3 months. It's been ready to go, but they
Really?
never released it. Never had the pre-order. Yeah, it's been here for about 3 months already in the states. So yeah, they just
They're just sitting
that's
on it.
that's the thing. Like I'm sure the Power Ranger toys are in the warehouse in Playmates, California, New York, wherever they're located at, and
Yeah.
ready to be shipped around to different Toys R Us, Sears, WalMarts, or maybe they might even be at the WalMarts right now, but they can't be put out. I've heard of that too, where they've had them in different
They wait.
locations. Oh, they're in the back. Yeah, they're in the back, but we can't give them to you because it's way too early.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that might be it. You know, the thing I found kind of interesting is they they split up the bad guys. So like it's the same bad guys we've already seen, but they just split it into two waves. So like wave one is gonna be Rita, Goldar, and the Putty, and then wave two is gonna be Squat, Babu, and I forgot who's the third one. It's probably like
King
a
Finks.
no, it's Putty. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh.
and King Sphinx, I think it's the deluxe. I think King Sphinx is a deluxe. It might be a little bit bigger, but, or he might because it's interesting if you're gonna like release four bad guys as a wave, wave two. I mean, they're already made. It's
Yeah.
not like they're not. So. But I think they probably wanted to get the Rita, the Putty, and Goldar out. And since the Putty's the army builder, you're always gonna need some putties or foot soldiers or things like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Buddy here's hoping they make that Scorpina you wanted.
It's I'm still thinking about going to buy the Hasbro one. It would probably work out just fine, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not giving any hopes to Super 7. I'm done with that ship.
Well, I've heard some things over there. Oh, buddy. I'm not privy to release that information, but it's 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 something else over there. Moving on to Super Seven. Um, so there was Brian was on a podcast about 2 months ago, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name because the name of this podcast is super long. It's called Geeks of the Thunder Nest or something like that. Like I said, I apologize if that's not
Hmm.
the full. It's like supposed to be like a play on Master of the Universe and Thundercats put together with geeks.
Yeah.
It geeks of the Masters of the Thunder, something like that. Yeah, it's a very long title. No disrespect, I couldn't catch the whole title, so that's where this information is coming from. And Brian was talking about the 2003 turtles that are like starting to like slowly hit, and things like that. And then they straight out asked him, "Hey, look, so what's up with the Playmates line?" And he's like, "The classic line is very sensitive because people have sensibilities, but he's hoping that they get back to it." And that's all he could say. I don't know. What do you think
That's pretty
about that?
cool. Well, I think, well, okay, so I remember one interview saying that Super 7 never wants to compete with anybody that's doing the same thing that they're doing. I know the Playmates line isn't really being done by too many people. I think I don't know. I really feel that there's a lot of cop out in Super 7 at the moment. Like they want to say we're done with this, but they don't want to say that because it's going to kill their fan base. They'd rather just say, we're having issues with this or that, so we're moving on, and hopefully we can come back to it. Like I'm pretty sure if I asked Super 7 Brian himself, so what's going on with Power Rangers, what's going on with the Robin Hood series, the Disney series, or whatever, he probably would never give me a straight answer. He would just beat around the bush, and I hate to say it, because they don't want their fan base going, well, okay, so you abandoned the property that I wanted, so we're just gonna move away and forget about you. I mean, theoretically, he could be doing this. Playmates has this property, Playmates has that property, and we're just taking a break because we're gonna let them go ahead of us because But again, when it comes to the Playmates Ninja Turtles, they're not really stepping on toes anywhere because theoretically they've done most of the basic ones. And what Playmates is doing with the remaster line has nothing to do with Super 7. What Playmates is doing with Power Rangers has nothing to do with Super 7. So I think it's
Yeah,
like a gray area and really stupid. So
yeah. Um, I think maybe we're not seeing the whole picture of this. Like there's probably something we're missing. There's probably some missing information here. Like So now thinking about it, what Playmates is doing with the remastered Turtles, that's technically what Mattel is doing with the Motu Origins line, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so follow me here. I think the fear that Super Seven has is that Playmates is gonna restart like a Masterverse type line for the Ninja Turtles, like full, like okay, these are 7 inches, they're fully articulated, they're this, they're that. Forget, like Masterverse, like very much to compete. And since it is their stuff, they have first dibs to do that, right? It's Playmate stuff, and whether they got permission or they didn't get permission, or they can't use the weapons racks or whatever you want to pull as an excuse for not continuing this, I think that's the fear. But I mean, I don't know. It seems like that's like the hangnail. You know what I mean? Like that's what's really like. Is Playmate's gonna do a collector line, like a really like go all the way, like Masterverse. And I say Masterverse just because it's so parallel to what this could be. Because they can release 20
Hmm.
He-Mans, they can, and if we do a Masterverse for Playmates, you can do that. Like, here's 20 different Leonardos remastered. Oh, here's Sewer Surfing Leo and Head Dunking Leo in 6 inches, and you know what I mean? And we can make Punching Rocksteady or whatever you're making, but like really like nice
Yeah.
type figures. But
I honestly don't
that's it.
see. I don't honestly see Playmates doing a whole remastered line like that. I see them just doing basic characters and be like, these are the characters, we're done with it. I don't see them doing like all the neutrinos or like a big Technodrome for these newer day figures. I just think they're doing it for the fan base. They're gonna probably have Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang at one point, April O'Neil, just the basic main characters and call it a day. I mean, they could go on and on, but I don't think that's their game plan.
You
Even
don't
for
think
the original sketches, they're gonna run.
for a while?
No,
You don't
I
see
think the
like
original sketches even are only gonna last for so long. Yeah,
yeah,
I just find Playmates to do what they're gonna do, and because they got other properties additionals. They got, the new ones, Mutant Mayhem. They got Tales of the Turtles. They got whatever the next movie is called of the Turtles. They don't need to keep doing all the remaster ones because they know that focus is only for certain people. It's not for the main kids line.
yeah,
And now that I brought that up, comes back down to the Power Rangers section because if they're doing a collector line for the adult turtles, even though they're good pricing, again they can come back around and do that for the Power Ranger line too. Because I still think the remaster line is just a test to see if they would be selling for adults. Because I swear to God, they're probably trying to get into more of a collector line for different products of theirs, but they're just too scared to do it. But again, that's just my opinion.
yeah. Oh, okay, so here I'm of two minds. Going to the Power Rangers thing that you were saying, it's interesting because they're doing their own takes on Power Rangers. This is that, but they're also doing those 8-inch re-releases of the Bandai stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
means you're working with Bandai somehow, right? Because those are the molds. As much as I don't like the hands, I still love the molds, and they're still beautiful and iconic and whatever. Those are the original 8-inch. They're
Yeah.
just doing them probably with plastic instead of metal screws. But that's interesting. There with turtles though, it's also like a very competitive market because now McFarlane's coming in, and he's doing a 6-inch line. Well, he can call it page punchers or
Yeah.
whatever. It's still McFarlane, and I think he's if this page punchers thing works out, if he can get the first couple of waves of IDW, I think he would try to do more Turtles lines. He can, and I said it before. I mean, it also depends on whose license is coming up, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't think NECA's losing the Turtle license anytime soon. But you never know, and there's other avenues you can go there. But I don't know. It seems like going back to the Super Seven point. I think they're so scared of the what if they're not trying. You know what I mean? Oh, Playmates is gonna get
Yeah,
this. Oh,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like they're like scared. Oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's a very odd shoulda, woulda, coulda thing that hasn't actually happened yet. It's like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the wolf is coming. The wolf's coming. After a while, you're like, okay, maybe the wolf's not coming. So you start losing some credibility.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the issue. You know, let's move on to the next news item here. So, buddy here, Pixel Dad, he's making a new Ninja Turtle book based on the Playmates line. So that should be interesting. It's similar to
Yeah, I
what he
haven't heard
did with
about that.
yeah. It's pretty close to what he did with the Master of the Universe book that he released. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Um, moving on, the Turtles of Grayskull, the Super Shredder, and the Foot Soldier are on Big Bad for pre-order. And here's something: Super Seven Ultimates are currently, up $5 to $7 a piece, and so they're not $55 anymore.
Ouch.
Now they're 50. They're 59. They're 59.99 or 61.99. And
Yeah,
it's like
forget
a
that.
50% increase.
That cuts deep, very deep.
Yeah, I think they. I mean, I don't know. I don't know their budget or their numbers, but I think one thing that really hurt Super Seven is when they passed the $50 mark. Because if you
Yeah.
can get four turtles for $199, that's a wave. But if you start talking, oh no, now you need $240 to get a wave of four turtles or whatever is your four characters, because turtles lines are 4 to 5 characters. Now even with a jumbo figure. I mean, they've eaten jumbo figure costs before when they released Mugman, and because Mugman is a huge Ultimates figure, like
Mm-hmm.
so they can eat costs too. But I don't know. I think them passing because I remember I'm a Super Seven guy, and I was with them at $45 because I saw the value at $45. But this was
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago. But now, you know, inflation is up there too.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame inflation though. I don't. Not for this. I blame it. Honestly, I just think the company's losing money and they need to rebound somehow. And they think if the product is being sold for this price and they have the fan base, they can bump it up a little more, and the fan base will still buy the product. And that's true to a point. But after a while, people are going to be like, "Well, I need money for rent. I need money for gas in my car. I can't always afford the product immediately, and then they're gonna have so much shipment go to Big Bad, so much shipment go to entertainment, Amazon, wherever, and then it's gonna get discounted, and that's when people are actually gonna buy the product. It's when it gets discounted. And
yeah,
yes, I know the Super Seven stuff takes a long time to be discounted, but it does happen.
yeah. Our last episode, you saw I did a lot because I got a lot at a really good price. But I waited like
Hmm.
5 years to get those figures. 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
Those figures are not new. Goldar is pretty old as a figure. Like the putty has been out for a
and
while.
broken.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have we covered them before. So
and
I
it's funny because I remember getting. They wasn't on day one because by the time I started collecting it, it was on God, what was it? Rave. It was when Madame Woe. I found out about them when they were on Madame Woe, White Tiger Zone, and White Ranger,
mhm.
and that was Rave 3.5. So yeah, and I call it
Oh yeah,
3.5 because it never happened.
I remember that wave 3.5 because that was right before COVID, wasn't it? Like before the pandemic.
It
People were
was
still
actually in COVID. It was actually in COVID. It was still
it
COVID
was.
time when that hit the market. Uh, because
Yeah.
that's when I actually started researching who was making the toys now and all that to find out, Hasbro took over from Bandai, and then there was companies like 3 that was too expensive for my budget, and I found these an interview and found this and that out about Super Sevens. Like, this is what I want. I don't care that they don't have 100 different articulations. It's not what I'm caring about. What I care about is something that looks awesome on a shelf in a certain position and call it a day. Um, but yeah, going up in price like that, it's just ridiculous. It's not right.
Well, I think they have like the double edged sword. Like they were pricey to begin with, but now with inflation they don't seem pricey, so they have to level off to what was pricey. You know what I mean? Like that. Like the pendulum
Yeah.
swings both ways. So like the pendulum is just getting them now, basically. Uh, Moving on here, the next news item is sticking with Super Seven. There's no update on the Power Ranger line. There's just nothing.
No,
There's nothing to
no, like
say
like,
another figure coming. And
like I said, it's a dead line. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm not saying it's like dead, but it's dead for now. Yeah, until Brian says something or somebody reports on it, to me it's just dead. It's sitting in the water. Last characters with Broken Skull, really, and they look fantastic to me. But again, not something I want right now. Too much money going out of my pocket for that one. You know what I would hope someone would do, and this is kind of a off subject about Super Seven because I could see Super Seven trying it, but I don't think they will. Ninja Megazord from the movie. From the movie. Not the TV show,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the weird CGI one.
yeah, the CGI version of the Ninja Megazord. I got you.
And I don't know if you have it in the notes, but the reason I bring that up is because Funko Pops have just made the 1995 movie figures,
Yeah,
and
that's it.
they look fantastic. But anyways, we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. But kind of going with the Super Seven thing to kind of wrap that point up. So I have a couple of because I'm the creator of Mascot Fighters and so and so. So I'm in comic shops. You've seen some of my stuff. I'm friends with some of these like around the states and whatever. So like I talked to them
Hmm.
and they're like, you know what? Wow. The only thing Super Seven wanted me to do was they wanted me to like order Lord Draken, but like nobody wants to buy him. So why am I going to order a box of Lord Draken if nobody's going to buy him? You're just going to sit there and make dust, and
Well,
the
that's the
profit
thing. Like
is
even
there. It's like a $4 win for a comic shop to sell one. It's a big box. So, I don't know.
I
I
know
don't.
it's a big character, and like
Yeah.
I said, I have the Hasbro one, and I'm very happy with the Lightning Collection Lord Draken. Only problem with the Lord Draken for Lightning Collection, it has the Saba head on it, on the sword. Well, it's not supposed to, but I could take a little saw and cut that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hope like about a year ago when we talked about a little more than a year ago when we heard about the metallic versions of the Power Rangers and they were going to be a little cheaper. We were hoping that was going to work out, but I don't think that's really lit the world on fire. Like you, like most people bought the White Ranger because he's kind of canon, and that was it. Like the other
Yeah.
Rangers never really
I
sold.
mean, only thing that he's not canon on is the sword. But again, all I have to do is go buy, you know, someone selling the Super 7 Saba sword by itself because people do that on eBay. Buy one, and now you got 100% canon Ranger. Maybe coat it with a little bit of a sparkly, like, shine to it as some kind of spray, clear spray, and call it metallic and whatever. I mean, it's just a little detail, but that doesn't bother me as much as saying, hey, these are canon, but they're not canon because they have wrong emblem. They're not supposed to have emblems on them. And that was the only down part about those. I would have bought them all if they were looking like the standard Super 7 with the correct belt and all that. I've talked about this,
Yeah,
but they were basing it off the 8-inch figures from Bandai. That's what they were doing. And that's okay. But that's not what most collectors want. They want what they say on the TV show. That's what they wanted.
yeah, Yeah, I think they messed up there because they put them in the boxes of the original Bandai style,
Hmm.
and
And that was
they gave them
cool.
the yeah, and they gave them the emblem, but they gave them the metallic shine, and the metallic shine is not what they wanted. If you would have released that
No.
figure with that box, but in just regular paint, I think that would have been a much better, alternative. But that's just me.
I mean, they could have just labeled it as, keep the same color paint, add the emblem, change the belt buckle to the Bandai one, and call it uh uh not flashback but retro style Rangers or something.
Yeah,
They still could have had the other label to it as well, but just call it retrograde Rangers or something. So,
yeah.
but no, they didn't do that.
And since we were talking a little bit about price and this and that, like last week, the Thundercats Deluxe Wave 2 started hitting targets. So, and Super 7 has always done very well with Thundercats. So if they're in a Wave 2, these are just re-releases with less, you know, accessories, but they're still like they're growing the brand, right? They got Tigra and Chitara now for Wave 2, but they won't release anything else for
Well,
Turtles or Rangers or.
well, that's the thing. Like I said, even if they re-released like the Rangers, the standard Rangers, and those deluxe editions, I would
Well,
have picked up a few of them. Because they would have been a nice, you know, okay, there's the Green Ranger, and I could put the Green Ranger's head on it, because it's gonna work, and I could have a somewhat civilian Ranger, get someone to customize it where it's the real civilians and we have something a little bit different than what everybody else has. But hey, that's their downfall because I know there's a lot of people out there that would buy these Super 7 Rangers or Super 7 Turtles if they were cheaper. I mean, think about it. If you could buy a Donatello or Leonardo for what is it, Let's go $30, okay? Because I know they were 25, but let's go 30. People would be like, okay, as long as I get that bow staff, as long as I get the two katanas, I'm good to go. Because they know it's a cheaper version. But if they go, oh well, here's one katana and then Leonardo, they'd be like, what's going on here? They wouldn't fly. But again, they have all the rights to these parts of the turtles. They have all these rights to the Power Rangers, and they're not using it to their advantage. And it's really sad. I mean, there's also Dungeons and Dragons they have, and they're not using that to their advantage either, really.
yeah,
So,
they're doing.
and don't forget Godzilla. Godzilla's the other one.
Yeah, no, but I think they're leaning more into just worrying about Thundercats and Godzilla. I think that's where they're gonna just like keep going, moving forward. Yeah,
That's
and
what I'm seeing myself. Yes.
yeah, and in that interview that Brian was in too, he actually mentioned Toxic Crusaders, and he's like, hey, yeah, we modeled Doctor Killamoff and a couple other characters, but Toxie's the one that sells, and the others don't. And, that's basically that. Moving on
Yeah.
past Super Seven here. Your company here, they're little people. They're doing a wave 3 of Turtles. They're doing a pack 3. I didn't think this thing
Wow.
was that popular to get a third run because the first one was the
Uh,
Turtles, then the second one was the Technodrome, which is the bad guys, which is Now the third wave is, and this like I announced it and it was already in stores when like that fast. Like little people, they have Splinter, Mondo Gecko, April, and Casey in one box.
that's crazy.
People must be getting them, I guess. Um, NECA Old Man Raph is up on pre-order. It might still be up there. I'm not sure. Next news item here is I actually saw this one in person, so this one I can attest to because sometimes you read these things or you cover them. This I saw in person. So I was at Macy's and they have like the Toys R Us section, and they have
Mhm.
Ninja Turtles, the Super 7 Ninja Turtles, the Ultimates, and they're selling them for $40. And so if you're there, you know, you might be able to get a forty
Cool.
dollar Super Seven. It's not bad. I
No,
think
it's not
$40
bad at all.
is decent, for what you're getting there,
Yeah.
especially for that line. Because I saw Michelangelo the other day there, and like Michelangelo comes with a lot of stuff. Like that's worth the $40. That makes sense there. Okay, next, more Super Seven here. So the 2003 Turtles, the Ultimates, they've hit
Hmm.
overseas. So some people are already like doing little reviews. The Mr. Lee guy, I don't know the rest of the. I just saw some pictures that said Mr. Lee something. Yeah, that channel, he's got them, and the Turtles, they don't look bad. I mean, they look fine. They just, like I said, there's not a lot in that box. I don't
Yeah.
really. I'm not crazy about Raph's, generic angry expressions throughout all three heads, or whatever. But that should be dropping soon, and I was kind of tempted to, okay, maybe I should go in on the line in 2003 and just like move on and like leave the other show. I mean, but it's like I already started the other one. Why would I? And suppose
Yeah. It's
it's like for that. This is just me, okay? Like for me, I'm like, you know what, man, I should just like save my money and wait another month and a half for McFarlane to start releasing his, because I'm gonna get those McFarlane
yeah.
toys. So like, and they're gonna be like 25, at worst $30, at worst 30, but $55, $59 now. Like we're saying, like I don't know. Supposedly Wave 2 of the 2003 is gonna hit like holiday, but like we were saying earlier, that might not happen because of the delays and the tariffs and the this and the that. So you might not get that one. And I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I like turtles, but I just it's not a decisive yes. Like in old times, you know what I mean? Like before, when you saw something, you're like, yes, I'm gonna get it for sure, or no, I'm not gonna get it. This is
Hmm.
sort of like maybe if I can find a deal and it's like it's not definitive. It's not definitive
Yeah.
for me anyway. Next news item, which is something I wanted to cover, and I think I sent it to you. And this is kind of just like a fun thing. We don't really talk about this, but King of the Hills getting pop figures. I don't know if you saw these.
Oh, I didn't see them, but I think we did talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, those are coming, so that's pretty fun. Next, I think we did cover the in the last episode the black and gold Megazord being in the Sentai of this year's show.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. There's some covers for the Boom MMPR dropping. So if you're collecting those comics, there's going to be some variants. There's also going to be some variants for the VR Troopers. It's going to have its own line now. I know they're doing
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, the VR Troopers. Like Prime, like VR
Yeah,
was
Power
getting.
Rangers Prime.
Yeah, yeah, but
Hmm.
I think they're getting their whole run. Uh, in more VR Troopers news, it's coming to Tubi. So if you got Tubi, you're gonna
That's
be able to
very
see
cool.
VR Troopers. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be fun. Uh, Another news item here is no update on the Disney show, unless you've heard something
Oh
that I
yeah,
haven't.
there's no update to anything. Hasbro is just dying too.
You know what they they did a weird like show here in town, in Tampa at Busch Gardens for some reason, like a live stage show of Power Rangers at Busch Gardens, like last week.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Did you
people were
go?
taking pictures. Nah, I'm on a side quest that takes up all my time, and I'm almost done with the side
Yeah, I
quest.
know. I know.
I just
Woohoo.
found it interesting. Like it just like, hey, you know what? Power Rangers is at Busch Gardens. I'm like, what? Like, all right.
Yeah.
Uh, the next news item here is the Old Turtle Den channel. They're uploading some pictures of the Power Rangers in space slash Ninja Turtles crossover that we never saw. Those are, so that
Hmm.
if you're looking for pictures that were never seen, that's fun. Seeing the Red Ranger and Leonardo like without their helmets on, but fully costumed. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool to see. Uh, next news item here is Casey, Krang, Rocksteady, and Bebop are coming to Fortnite. So I think this is like pack 2 or 3.
Yeah. I'm
Fortnite.
not a big Fortnite fan. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Me neither. And the final news item for today is what you were alluding to. Power Rangers, the movie, pop figures are coming. There's 8 of them.
Yes.
All six
Yes. And
Rangers.
I just covered this on YouTube just today. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny. And honestly, I'm like anybody that knows me knows I don't collect Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I said in my video, I think the Seven News is awesome, and I think I'm gonna actually buy it. So it'd be the one and only Funko Pop I think I'm gonna actually probably buy because I've never
Yeah.
bought in a Funko Pop. I'm just gonna get the Ivan News. I don't care about the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get Ivan News. Now the thing that kind of bothers me about these ones, well, two things really. One, how can they make the 1995 movies, but no one else can? Two,
Good
why does
point.
the Pink Ranger have yeah, why does Pink Ranger have the weapon and she's the only one that has the weapon? And the Yellow Ranger, why does her helmet glow like in the movie, but the other Rangers have nothing special? Nothing special. I mean, Ivan Ooze even has like a clear lightning effect out of his hands, and I think that's cool because that's that scene where he goes, "Wah," and uh, but yeah, you got the two girls that have special stuff in this one, and
Oh yeah,
when I first saw it,
the yellow
I
glowing,
thought it was
the
really
glowing.
cool. Yeah, that's glow in the dark. That's a glow in the dark. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it was a variant. It's a variant," and then I said it was a variant on the video until I looked it up to add, you know, B-roll into my thing. I was like, "Oh, it's glow in the dark. It's not a variant." But by then it was too late. I couldn't edit it out. That happens, but I don't care because you see it in the photos. But then you got Kimberly's pink like grip thing, and I find it cool that they did that. But what about the Saber sword? What about the uh Billy's something stinger? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Rocky and Adam really didn't have anything in the movie, but you have those extra characters at least had something, and that's the thing. They could have added those to it. But the only other thing about people, I heard this too. People are complaining about the Megazord, like I kind of did. And then people also complain about not having the Najeti costume Funko Pops, even though they was kind of already released a little bit with the
Yes.
NFT situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand we need to have the whole set ready to go where you can pick them up at your local stores or pre-order them online instead of having them NFT exclusives. Because I think that was a stupid move in general. Again, I'm not a big Funko Pop fan, but I understand that people don't want NFTs. A lot of them want the physical thing in their hand, you know, because
Yeah.
unfortunately, NFTs, when that server goes down, you lost everything. But something physical in your hand, only way you're going to lose it if someone steals it or you get rid of it. So,
Yeah. People
yeah.
give my boy there McFarlane. They give him like grief because he has the digital store. so you can buy
Hmm.
like a higher priced Superman, but with a digital option. So it's basically an NFT thought. But it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you have your digital collection that doesn't take up any physical space. So what are you buying? I don't know.
A photograph.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's stupid.
Uh, I I saw these and they look good. Uh, I don't collect Power Ranger pops, but that Megazord does look pretty good. I might get it if I see it in person. I'm pretty sure it'll
It's
probably fit
supposed
like tops or stuff. Yeah,
it's supposed to be metallic. It says it on the box. It's a metallic Ninja Megazord. I don't
it's
know.
6 inches. It's not a regular Funko like 3.5. No, it's straight out 6 inch figure. So that's something. It looks to me too like if you see that. I don't know if you can bring up the image, but
Mhm.
it looks very much like
Probably not.
the yeah. For next time maybe, but my point was it looks a lot like the Bandai Legacy Megazord. Like it looks like
Mm,
it borrows a lot from the Legacy Megazord, the Legacy Ninja Megazord, like that. Yeah, like the way the
yeah.
pieces lay out and the chrome and all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting. Buddy, any closing words here? Any last things you want to cover, or because today's going to be sort of
I
a tight
don't.
episode?
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to cover today. Just a busy lifestyle going on right now, so information is kind of short, tight, and hard to find at the moment. I mean that's just life. And sooner or later, I'll get back on my life work schedule balance. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this is my last side quest episode, if you will, because then after this we'll be back to normal. Things will be good. Things are good now, but they're gonna you know status quo in a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of moving from that. So I launched my fourth show the other day, and my fourth animated series, Echo Reality Champs, and that was pretty cool to move on with. And sort of the last little thing, and then we'll end the show here, is I've been playing a little bit of video games again. I've been playing some Ratchet and Clank, the collection for PlayStation 3. It's fun because it's weird too because it's like I'm playing a PS2 game remastered for PlayStation 3 in 2025, and that game is fun. It's got all three games, and I'm having a blast with it.
Hmm.
It's kind of retro play, but
Awesome.
retro is retro. And I went to GameStop the other day because I was hoping they had this thing that I heard about that I really wanted to play a while ago. Is the Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, but on
Oh, yes, I've
PlayStation
actually
3.
played that.
Yeah, I wanted to see
Hmm.
how they remastered it and trophies and like would it be fun and whatever. How's the control? And then the guy tells me that no, that's only like PlayStation 4. And I'm like, I'm not buying an entire game system just to just to play a PlayStation 1 game remastered on PlayStation 4. I mean, I love Crash. Don't get
Yeah.
me. That's really like jumpy generous.
Hmm.
It is. And yeah, that's basically it. Everybody, if you like our show, subscribe, share it, and have a good one. And we'll catch you next time.
Hmm.
Bye.